Hey, thanks for purchasing the Pickin Guitar Solo Instructional DVD. Basically in this video what I've tried to do is break the solo into 9 licks and explain each of those licks individually. First off, let's start with the rhythm track. The solo is in the key of D, and it's just a simple country progression of 3 chords. The D chord, all right, a G chord, and an A chord. All right, we call that a 1-4-5 progression. All right, let me just play through this real slowly just to show you basically what it is. I'm just going to use a simple pick strum. All right. All right, so that's basically the rhythm, just 3 chords, D, G, and A. Each lick I'll try to relate it to you to which chord we're playing and which part of the rhythm. All right, so now let's talk about the first lick. All right, the first lick is in the key of A, leading up to the D chord. So this is what we call a series of pickup notes. All right, so it's literally before we get to the first D chord, all right, we're leading into the solo. All right, so it's just simply based off of a F sharp minor, a G sharp minor, and then the A major chord. Okay, but I'm just going to be outlining this using the root and the third of those. Okay, so I'm starting on the 4th fret on the D string and on the 2nd fret on the G string. Okay, I'm going to move up and play the 6th fret on the D string and the 4th fret on the G string. All right, and then move up one more time. I'm going to catch the 7th fret on the D string and the 6th fret on the G string. Okay. All right, and then the way that sounds in time. Okay, so I'm sliding up in between each note, or each series of notes. Okay. All right, and that leads us into our D chord. All right, so you really want to snap that chicken picking style. So we are basically in the right hand. I'm just going to give it a pluck down and then a pull up with whatever finger it is you like to grab the string with. All right, pull it really hard so you get that snappy sound. Okay, the harder you pluck, the more snap you get. All right, let's check that out in slow motion and then up to speed. All right, the second lick. This is figure 3 on your tab sheet. This is sort of based out of a D chord, a D bar chord, but we're just going to modify that to where we are only fretting the 7th fret on the G string and the B string, and then we're also barring back at the G at the 5th fret on the G and the B string. Okay, that way we can pull off from the 7th fret with a double stop, pull off to the 5th fret. Okay. All right, this lick gets a little bit complex between the plucking fingers and the picking, or the picking technique, but let's just talk about the plucking first. Okay, it's basically a pluck, pull off. So it's a, all right, and basically we do that 2 times in a row. Okay. Now in between those, we're going to get a downstroke just on the G string, and not even necessarily fretting a note, but just to give it more of a percussive rhythmic feel. Okay, so in between the 2 licks, and then in between the 1st and 2nd pluck the 2nd time. So very slowly, let me play the lick. Okay, up to speed it sounds like this. Okay, so one more time, extremely slow. Okay, let's go to the close-ups. All right, the third lick in the solo. This is one of the most difficult, I believe, licks of the solo. It's sort of a Brad Paisley, Brent Mason style lick, and it's not that hard once you kind of get used to it. It's just a series of pull-offs, and we're in the key of G on this lick, and we're trying to get from the G chord to the A chord. Okay, so we're thinking about this in sort of a G pentatonic. All right, we are going to start on the let's see, where do we start? The G string on the 5th fret, we're going to pull off to the 3rd fret and then to an open string. So it has one pluck with 2 pull-offs. Okay, so the first lick is this. Okay, so we're going 5, 3, open, 1 pluck, 2 pull-offs. Okay, now this is what it sounds like if it goes very fast. Okay, so I would just practice just doing that. Whether you're picking with the pick or with one of your plucking fingers, either way. Okay, now the thing that makes this lick easier is we're going to sort of just move that same finger position up the neck, or down the neck actually. Okay, so we're going to do G string, 5, 3, open. Then we're going to move to the D string, 5, 3, open. All right, then we're going to move to the A string, which has a little bit of variation. It's actually 4, 3, open. So that part right there, going from the G, D, and A strings. Okay. Now we're going to add in the next part, which is an open A string with a slide or a hammer onto the 1st fret, slide up to the 2nd fret, and then we're going to catch the 3rd fret on the top to sort of outline a G chord. Okay, so it goes like this. Okay, hammer onto the 1st fret, slide to the 2nd, and then 3rd fret on the E string. So basically made a G chord there. Okay, so up until that point, here's what we have. Okay, from there we're going to once again pluck the G note, 3rd fret on the E string. Then we're going to go back to our major 3rd, which is the 2nd fret on the A string. Then we're going to play the D string open, and then finally we have 2nd fret on the D string. So this will complete the lick. All right, this is the simple part of the lick. All right. In time. All right. So the whole thing together, very slowly. And up to speed. Okay, so now let's go to the close-ups. Okay, figure 4 on your tab sheet. This is one, I think, one of the coolest licks in the solo. This is sort of an ode to Jerry Donahue, Jim Campolongo. It is a steel guitar lick, bending behind the nut. A couple of things I've done to help this on this particular guitar is I have a brass nut, which seems to wear less quickly than like a plastic or bone nut. And then I also have these graphite string trees, which also help with the bending behind the nut and staying in tune. Now, very simply, you literally just bend the string behind the nut. I like to use my first 2 fingers to press it down. Okay, and you just got to get used to doing it. It may seem a little odd at first, but just go ahead and just bend it. All right, so what we're actually doing here is we're in the A chord, and we are going to be bending from the B note up to a C sharp. All right, that will create the major third interval for the A chord, and the only other string involved is an open E string. Okay, so we actually start with the string depressed up to the C sharp. All right, but first we're going to pluck the E string, open E string, release it, and then give another pluck to the E string, and then 2 bends. Okay, so very slowly. Okay, one more time. All right, so at a faster tempo. All right, let's check out the close-ups. All right, our next lick is figure 5 on the tab sheet, and we are still in the key of A. All right, we just had the behind the nut bend. And now we're going to do an open string pull-off lick again. And this one I like to think of sort of a Brad Paisley style lick again. In the key of A, so we're thinking sort of A major pentatonic. All right, we're going to be hovering right around the 4th and 2nd frets on this lick. All right, so we are going to start with a 4-2 open. Okay, so pulling off from the 4 to the 2nd string to the open. All right, we actually pluck the 4th string and the 2nd string. Remember, from the G lick we just had 1 pluck and 2 pull-offs. Here we have a pluck, and then a pull-off. Okay, so pluck the 4th string, pluck the 2nd string, and then pull off to the open. Okay. Okay, then we're simply going to move up to the D string, catch the 4th fret, and then we're going to catch the open G string. This is a really popular way of pulling off, is pulling off to the string that you were just playing on. So we're at the G string and move to the D. Now we pull off the open string, or catch the open string on the G. So that part of the lick goes like this. Okay, this is the whole lick up to speed. Okay, same thing on the next string. Now we've got the open lick. We're going to move up to the D string and catch that 4-2 open. And then we're going to hammer on 3rd fret to the 4th. Then just go right back up the way we came. Open D string to the 2nd fret on the D string, the 4th fret on the D string, and then finally back to the A note, 2nd fret on the G string. All right, so very slowly. All right, this is one that's much easier when going fast, I think. All right, so up to speed, this is what it sounds like. All right, let's check that out in the close-ups, slow and then fast. Okay, figure 6 on the tab sheet. I like to think of this sort of a combination of Brent Mason and James Burton licks. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to be in the key of D, and I've moved up the neck, and I'm thinking about this in a D pentatonic idea. All right, so I'm going to be thinking about this D note up here at the 15th fret on the B string. And we're just going to outline a D6 chord, a triad, okay, inverted, but we have the B string at the 15th fret, the E string at the 14th fret, which is our D, and then if we catch the G string on the 16th fret, we now have a D major 6 chord. Okay, so we're going to walk into that chord with 16th fret on the D string, 14th fret on the G string, 16th fret on the G string, and then into it. So the first part of this goes. Okay, so I like to pluck the bottom 2 notes with my 2 fingers as I usually do. Okay, so really slow. All right, now we're just going to walk the whole thing down 2 frets. Okay. Okay, so I'm walking it up, a pick and then the pluck, and then I'm going to do the same thing, just a pick and a pluck 2 frets down. Okay, then I'm going to add in sort of a James Burton type lick, getting real rockabilly here. We're going to be barring at the 10th fret, and this will be basically D. All right, so barring the B and the E string at the 10th fret. Then I'm going to do a really quick pluck and pull off on the 13th fret on the G string to the 12th fret. All right, I'm also pulling off that 12th fret to the 10th. So it's actually 2 pull-offs with 1 pluck, as we've done before. So 13, 12, 10. Okay, so the rockabilly part here, barring at the 10th, and then a pluck and pull off on the G string from 13, 12, 10. So it goes like this in time. Okay, and then just the nice James Burton part, we're going to, it's just sort of that idea. So I'm just catching basically a G chord. Okay, so barring at the 12th fret, the D, G, and B strings. All right, with a pick and then a pluck. All right, and then I'm going to do just a hammer-on, simple hammer-on from barring the 10th fret, and then adding the major 3rd at the 11th fret on the G string. Okay, so that lick goes really slowly. All right, one more time. Okay, up to tempo. All right, let's check it up in the close-ups. Okay, figure 7 on your tab sheet. We're now in the key of G. All right, we're going to be on the same part of the neck where we were working before. And this is a real simple James Burton style lick, another steel guitar type lick. Key of G. All right, so we're starting with, we are fretting at the 15th fret on the B string and at the 14th fret on the G string. All right, so another popular country style lick. We're just going to bend up the G string, and then as we have that up, we're going to catch the B string. Okay, so we bend it up, hold and pluck, and we're going to reach down and catch the 13th fret on the B string. Okay, so bend, pluck, pluck, catch the other string, and then catch. Right, and then we're just going to let it come down and end on the 12th fret on the G string, which is our G note, all right, and our G chord. So once again, really slowly. Okay, so bending up at the 14th, catching the 15th on the G string, all right, then one more pluck with the bent G string, reaching down and catching the B string at the 13th, all right, and then just plucking the G string, releasing it, and then landing on the G note on the 12th fret of the G string. Okay, let's go check it out in the close-ups. All right, now we're on figure 8 on your tab sheet. We are on our final A chord, all right, and we're just trying to get ourselves back to the D, all right. So we're actually going to be, we're in the key of A, we're going to be starting on the 10th fret on the B string, and I'm thinking about this in A pentatonic. All right, so it's actually a pretty simple lick. We just have the B string at the 10th fret, B string at the 8th fret, and then we're also going to catch the E string at the 8th fret with just a bend up half a step. So basically, we're going to be outlining the A with its major third C sharp. Okay, here's the lick. All right, this one I really like to get this one quacking pretty good with using the different pick and then pluck techniques. And all it is, really slowly, we just go 10, 8, 10, bend on the 8th string. So, all right, and then if you really get to choking that down, okay, so let's check that out in the close-ups. All right, now our final lick, we're just trying to wrap up that A chord and then land back on the D chord. We are going to be, once again, another steel guitar lick, very James Burton inspired lick. We are at the 10th fret and the 9th fret. Basically, we are covering the 10th fret on the E and B strings and then the 9th fret on the G string. First thing we're going to do is we're going to pick and hold the 9th string. We're going to bend that up one step. Okay, so pick it up, pick it and hold that up, and then we're going to catch the E string. All right. Then pluck the still bent G string, and then catch the B string. Then one more time, pluck on the G string to release down the bend, and then end on the D note on the G string on at the 7th fret. Okay, so really slowly. One more time. This is what it should sound like in real time. All right, so check it out in the close-ups. Once again, thanks for purchasing the chicken picking guitar solo instructional video. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. I hope this has been helpful. Feel free to send me some comments at my email address. It's stratfink01@aol.com.